The Surly Brewing Company opened its beer doors in 2005 after founder Omar Ansari completed apprenticeship at the Michigan brewery New Holland. Todd the Axeman is one of the year-round offerings from the company. Is it a beer you should drink while shredding the guitar? Find out now on Two Dudes Reviews.
What up, guys? Yeah, today we have Surly Todd the Axeman, and I'm just gonna crack it open and get right into it. This is one of those beers that I've heard a decent amount about. It's fairly highly rated in most of the other beer circles you check out. I don't think I've ever had a Surly beer before, so I'm pretty excited to try it. On our podcast that we did around the Super Bowl, I was trying so hard to find a Surly beer because I did a beer for both teams for the regions that they were from, and since the Super Bowl was in Minneapolis, I was trying to get a Minneapolis-based beer, but just couldn't find it. So I don't know if this is suddenly now reaching Arizona. I have no idea. I don't know what the distribution is. But I'm already liking the color. It's got a nice tangerine, deep. You can't really see it. I don't know, maybe maybe like that. You can really start to get, it's got nice color. Almost to the point of, you're pouring yourself some like tangerine juice or some of that mango orange juice or something. It's got solid color. In case you haven't tried one of these, I will read the back of it. It says, pick up an axe. This bright IPA has hop character as intense as a thrash metal guitar. A background of golden promise malt cleaves through the citrus notes created by massive amounts of Citra and Mosaic hops. Pour this in a tulip glass, and let their aromas and flavors assault your senses. The beer is named in honor of Surly's founding brewer and metal guitarist Todd Hogg, who created this beer in collaboration with Amager Bryus in Denmark. Cheers. So also, let's see, it's 7.2 ABV. It does not say the IBUs, which I got a slight issue with that. I don't like it when IPAs don't put the IBUs on it. I feel like that's something that's information that you really want to know when you buy an IPA. Because some people like their IPAs, kind of in the 60 IBU range, not way over the top, but still there. And other people want theirs just like, pushing closer to 100. They want it up like that insane amount. Not insane amount, but that high. And I just feel like that's information that you really need to have when it's an IPA. But that's just me. If I ran the beer world, that's what I'd make. That's what I'd make people do. But anyways, let us get into the smell. Very pronounced, deep pine citrus in there. So you have that pine tree aroma, and you have that familiar kind of grapefruit thing. Pine grapefruit is really widely used in a lot of the IPAs that you're going to get out there. But it's more than the grapefruit. It does have more of a deeper orange tangerine kind of thing going on. I'd almost say it's a floral bouquet of citrus. It's not just, there's a few different things going on, but it's very pine woodsy and then citrusy. But it smells like a fine IPA, so I will recommend it on the aroma. It smells not necessarily different from a lot of the IPAs. It smells similar to others, but it's almost like an apple cider kind of. That might be a little better characteristic. But, alright, I'll recommend it on the smell. Let's get into the taste. That is major grapefruit. major grapefruit. It really tastes like I almost just bit into a grapefruit. Fruit. Like there's some IPAs that you get like the essence of a grapefruit, that bitter citrusy thing, but then they just kind of leave it to you. This, it almost goes through the entire motion of you, like if you bite into a grapefruit or you're scooping it out and you get that initial kind of citrus sour thing going on, and then you get the juice going, and then it kind of dies off into that bitterness that you get with a grapefruit. It goes full circle with the beer, because that's what it's like. You get that citrus thing going on, then you get the juice, then it gets into the bitterness. It's really like it really does just as grapefruity as you're going to get, without being artificial. It very much tastes like grapefruit. It doesn't have that artificial flavor thing going on, which a lot of the other like grapefruit IPAs, they just kind of push it too far by adding just like grapefruit extract. Once you start screwing around with extract, you run the risk of having that artificial sweetener thing going on. Like a lot of the shandies you get nowadays, it just has too much of that artificial corn syrupy, sugar thing going on. This is very, very just grapefruit. Good amount of bitterness. I think it works perfect. The bitterness is perfect with the grapefruit. If the bitterness was any less, the grapefruit was just overwhelm and dominate the palate, which might not be terrible if you had a shandy or a lighter wheat beer, but for this kind of beer, if the IPA was lower, they'd be too juice, too citrusy, and they would just kind of swallow it whole. If there was any more bitterness, and then you have like bitter and grapefruit like competing and like trying to, that's no good either. You don't want like competing flavors. You want one to be dominant, one to be next, and they each know their place. This is an IPA that seems like the bitterness and the grapefruity, they know what they're doing. They know their roles. They're not trying to fight with each other. So it's a nice marriage with the two. After the first kind of sip, after it hits the tip of your tongue, you don't get a whole lot at the back end. Maybe a little just kind of woodsy. Like that flavor you get if you cook a fish on like a plank of wood. And there's just that subtle kind of cedar, a little hint of like almost cedar in the fish. It almost has like that little bit of wet wood at the back end of the mouth. That's the most. That's like the new flavor that I get as the beer hits. So you get the bitter and the grapefruit at the front, and then as it goes back, you get almost like that cedar wood kind of thing going on. But after that, it's not ultra like complex. It's not like every time you sip, you get something different. It's very. You get it, but what you get is very good. I mean, I wouldn't say simple, but it's a beer that you drink it and instantly either this, I really, really, really like this, or this isn't my kind of thing. You will know after the first sip if this is going to be like a great beer or not. And I do like my complex beers where every sip is like an adventure. You don't know what's going to happen, but you don't have to go crazy to have a great beer. You can be kind of really straightforward, but if you're doing it well, that's all that matters. And this is a little more straightforward, but really well done. So I dig it, and I'm going to recommend it for the taste. And it avoids that wet gym sock marijuana smell. That's something I find in a lot of like local brew pubs and microbreweries. If you go and get certain IPAs that are trying to do this kind of thing, it just smells like you put weed in your gym sock and left it in the locker. Some of them are just like, dude, I don't know what you're doing, but you gotta switch it up. Thankfully, this avoids that. But all right, next is value for price, and this was a little more pricey. I believe I got the one can. I believe it was $6.99 for the one can, and I don't think they normally sell it by the can. I think just some dum-dum opened the box, and so they're like, all right, we can't really sell the box now. We gotta sell one by one, and so. Yeah, so $6.99 for one. I'm gonna guess they probably sell it in a 4-pack. I know if you get like a Sculpin IPA from Ballast Point, like a 4-pack. I'm trying to think if it's a 4-pack or a 6-pack that costs like usually like $15. I think it's a 4-pack that costs like $15. So that's not totally out of the woods for what other IPAs charge. I'm not really sure why some of these IPAs are so much more expensive than others. Maybe just the kind of hops you use is, I don't know. But pour the rest in there. But yeah, this isn't like, this is definitely higher up there. I mean, $6.99 for one can, if you can find the one can. I don't know what the distribution is, but that's a lot for one can. However, it is probably one of the best wider available IPAs you're going to find. If you want to check out some of these, I do top 10 videos, and FYI, before people complain about them, they are composite ratings, meaning I take ratings from Beer Advocate and Rate Beer and other stuff, and I composite them together to come up with the overall general rankings. So, yeah, I get so many people that are just bitching about how could you pick blah, blah. It's like, dude, I tell you it's a composite rating like a dozen times in 3 minutes, dude. If you can't pay attention to that, I'm sorry. So don't get upset with me with the top 10, but check them out because I have two. I have just a general top 10 IPAs in the United States, and I have a top 10 available IPAs in the United States, which are beers that are a little easier to find. Because when I did the just straight up top 10 initially, and I found that a lot of them are not widely available. Like there's a Crooked Tree and Trillium, whatever, out of the New England area, and you really can't get that outside of the New England area, and it sucks. And of course, you have a lot of favoritism with voting for those kinds of things, which skew the ratings. And so I came up with the wider available IPAs that you could actually find in a store near you, and I believe this was in the top, it was in both top 10s. Yeah, the Sculpin was in the top 10 for both. But yeah, this is one of the best IPAs. They're not screwing around. It's very straightforward, but it's very good. And that is a long summary to me saying, even though this is $6 for a can, I'm gonna recommend it on price because I think it's worth at least trying once. Even if you're not a huge IPA fan, it's worth it because there's a lot of grapefruit citrus IPAs that just, you drink it and you just kind of left like, I thought it'd be a little better. Like, I was just talking about, I can't remember which IPA it was the other day out of New Belgium, the brewing company. And it's like, I was super excited about it. I'm drawing a blank, but it's got like the grapefruit that's like split open on the label. And super excited to try it. And then just like, it wasn't bad, but just underwhelmed. It was not up to the point that I was hoping it would be. But this one, I definitely recommend it. If you're just a beer lover, you will at least, and not even an IPA fan, you will at least respect it. If you're an IPA fan, I would assume that you'll really like it. But it's worth the $6, so I'll recommend that on that. Next is Distinction. How distinct is it? And honestly, it's basically a grapefruit citrus IPA. There's a billion of those out there. It's not really distinct in terms of that. It's, you taste the flavor and you'd be like, I've had these flavors before. Maybe not but just not as refined. It's like when you have a really good burger. Really good burger can be the simplest thing ever. And it's just like, I've had the beef and the cheese and the other toppings before. This is just much better done. That's basically what it is. So it's not that distinct, but it is at the same time. So I'm gonna give it a half on that because, again, you've had grapefruit IPAs before. Maybe you haven't had a grapefruit IPA this good before. Next category is drinkability. Let's get another. I mean, honestly, so it is 7.2% alcohol by volume. So it is, it's your IPA, but it's heftier than your normal Pilsner or wheat beer or whatever. And IPAs, usually you're going to slow down because the bitterness just kind of slows you down. But with that said, you have enough of the citrus that kind of like propels you to keep drinking. It kind of helps you go on with it. And honestly, I wouldn't have a problem. You can get a 4-pack of this, I believe it's a 4-pack. It's just labeled as a strong beer. In case the 7.2% right next to it doesn't give it away. But you can get a 4-pack and probably finish all 4 without much of a problem. Of course, you're going to be a little buzzed by then. But honestly, for an IPA, it's not bad for drinkability. You shouldn't have too much of a problem. So I'm going to recommend it for drinkability. And, alright, last category is, would I buy it again? Excuse me, and yeah, I will. Now, IPA is not at the top of my drinking. It's not at the top of my drinking list. I respect a good IPA, but I've had so many just piss poor IPAs that it's just it's very hit and miss. And I mean, I'm totally all about a good one, and this is a very good one. And so I have no problems drinking it and enjoying it and having it just on hand. And so I'm totally about this, and so yes, I will be getting it again. I will be recommending it to people, and I recommend you check it out as well. But alright, that is my review of Surly Brewing Company's Todd the Axeman IPA. If you've had it before, let me know in the comments. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great as well. Maybe there's some other IPAs you want me to check out, let me know. I'll see if I can find them and review them on here. And yeah, if you want to check out the website, twodudesandasixpack.com, or check out the podcast, Two Dudes and a Six Packs, on iTunes, every place else that you go for that kind of stuff. If you want to check out my book, give it a glowing 5-star review. That'd be fan-freaking-tastic as well. Got a link to that below. And also, I'm going to keep doing this till the end of the year. Boxing Day, December 26th. We're going to turn that into an amazing drinking holiday. And this is going to be the first year of the great Boxing Day holiday. It's going to be the next Cinco de Mayo on St. Patrick's Day. By the time I die, hopefully that's a long time from now. By the time that happens, I want to just be able to know that yes, we're turning Boxing Day into a great drinking holiday. But anyways, that is my review of the beer. And so for myself and for Surly's Todd the Axeman, take it easy.